everyone. Welcome to episode 7 for the USA League podcast. Today we have Kai Vilmer, our executive director. He's joining us. How's it going?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good, busy as always, but this time of the year it's been pretty exciting. So,
I,
um,
I, I, I bet we can maybe touch on that in a couple of weeks or in a future episode. So that'd be some great content. But yeah, today's a little different. It's just Ethan and I, no guests. We'll do a quick little show today but we'll be back in about 2 weeks. We're going to take a week off for a little summer break and then come back with some more guests as we've had on in the past. So before just some housekeeping items here to talk about really on the league side of things. The USA League team registration is open, so you are able to register your teams now. If you're able, go to the league website at usa-soccer.org, and you will find all the information right on the home page. You also able to find us on Instagram and on Facebook, and the registration information is there as well. And if you do have any questions or anything else you need to find out about the league, you're able to email me as always at kai@usa-soccer.org, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you may have about the league. And actually, this is a good segue to me to kind of introduce the league to people that might not know what the USA League is really about. The United Soccer Association was founded in 1990 because there was no scheduling body for competitive soccer. And so that's how the league was founded and established. It was to provide an organized scheduling body for competitive teams in the Tampa Bay area. Since that time, obviously, the league has grown a lot. Back then, it started off with, I think it was like 150 teams, and I kind of grew to 200, and it grew all the way up to 500 before the alphabet soup league craziness fractured the landscape. But even during that time, the league has always maintained an average of in the 300s, and we've even reached goals of getting back into 400. So things are going back up. The USA League provides, soccer for teams that for ages U8 through U19, boys and girls. It is a league for teams that necessarily do not want to travel statewide or even leave the state of Florida. We have Premier Division, Second Division, and Third Division. We are a team versus team format league. We're inclusive. We welcome everybody. And that has been the recipe for success for this league, being an inclusive team versus team league. We have an amazing title sponsor in Charlie, and have a official partnership with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. The Rowdies have been incredible partner that have really provided us with resources that we're able to provide for our players. They open the stadium for us once a season, where they open up the stadium and we're able to host 2 regular season games, play the games at Alling Stadium, where the players get a professional environment treatment, just like the players would, with the walk-in, everything. The lights are on, the video boards. It's playing in a professional environment. The Rowdies also open up their training facility to us to host college ID camps. We kicked that off with a girls ID camp not too long ago. It's a very low cost, affordable camp. We only charge $25 for USA League players to attend that camp. We will also have one for the boys coming up. We have the Green and Gold initiative that will be kicking off this season, where we will be having scholarships available for high school seniors, as well as coaching education grants to help offset with cost of coaching education for coaches. There's plenty of more stuff they'll be announcing through the Green and Gold initiative. But bottom line is, we're an all-inclusive league, team versus team league that has been around since 1990, and we provide and soccer scheduling for competitive soccer through the entire Regency area. For people that do not know the FYSA map of Regency, it goes from I think as far north we go to Inverness, and south is down to Naples, and east to like the Lakeland Auburndale area. So that's kind of the Regency area. And we have 47 member clubs within that area that we schedule games in. We schedule around between 3,000 and 4,000 games a season. So it's a lot of games that we do a schedule. And our league is, yes, it's inclusive, and we provide opportunities for players that, in my opinion, and in today's world of modern youth soccer, we seem to celebrate and focus on the top 1-2% plan. If you ever see the social media feeds, it's all about the MLS Next, ECNL, and all the other higher level leagues. And sometimes I feel like we forget about the 98% that play soccer. Well, that is what the league is about. We are for all, and we are for the 98%, and we want to celebrate those 98%. It's about the game first, the kids, and that's what we're here for. So that is what the USA League is in a nutshell. And again, you can find us on the internet at usa-soccer.org, and on Facebook and Instagram, and right here on our podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube or streaming us on your Apple or Spotify, please make sure to subscribe to this show and give it a thumbs up, right? And share it with people. We want to get it out there. We want to grow our viewership or listenership, depending on how you consume this show. So, and we just not talking about the league here, but we also bring on guests from the college world, from the pro world, to just talk about soccer, youth soccer, what the challenges are, or how to become a college player, or how to maybe become a pro, and best practices. And we will have directors on from our member clubs to talk about their clubs, to highlight and showcase their clubs, what makes them unique, what makes that club special, that we can maybe all learn from. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Having this community and communication, and learn from one another to help improve youth soccer and for the betterment of the kids, so we can help them grow as people, not just on the field but off the field as well, to become productive adults down the road. Because youth sport does play a big role in that. So, and I'm a big believer that is our mission. Should always be the mission and vision for any youth sports organization, is to help build people, build the future. So anyway, that is what the USA League is about. We did cover the housekeeping of the registration piece. There's some other things going on in the youth soccer world. Obviously, I think everybody knows already about the age group changing from birth year to school year format. There's also some other things that we can be rolling out. I'm not sure how many. I'm trying to bring somebody on from FYSA to kind of explain this a little bit better. But there is, starting, I think, July 1st, the background checks are getting a little tougher. Not tougher, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the background check requirements are changing. And that's not something that FYSA, youth soccer, it's actually, it's actually from the state of Florida. It's a law that was a bill that was passed and signed by the governor, that again is there to protect the kids, but and to make the background. I think it's a level 2 background check. It's pretty much the same level as teachers go through, that the coaches now have to go through starting this season. It includes fingerprinting and so forth. That hopefully to bring somebody on from FYSA to help explain that a little bit more to everybody, and because obviously it won't affect the parents that are not coaching, but for parents that are coaching and involved on boards and so forth, yes, that will impact us greatly. And then, so there's a lot of changes going on. Leagues, the age group format, the background checks, is going to be very, very busy off season. Well, there isn't never an off season for people that work in soccer and on the administrative side, right? The off season is season. Anyway, but we'll touch on that when we come back. We'll bring in some guests to help explain and get through all this clutter and help you understand it all. And I think the more information we can provide for people, the better it is for everybody. Couple other noteworthy things is that I can think of. Well, yeah, the England and New Zealand game. Actually, I think when you will listen to this or watch this, the game's already been played. This is happening on Saturday at 4 p.m. It's going to be nice and hot, but I think that is besides them, I think it is part of the preparations also to get the teams used to the heat that they'll be going into, because I believe the Germany-US game that's also on Saturday, I think that kicks off as well at 2:30, and you will have teams playing in that heat. I think that's part of the preparation part of it. Besides the TV things that probably plan to for the home nations like in Germany and England, that it's 8-9 o'clock over there. So obviously for them it's better to tune in, but it also helps them to get climatized, because for the Europeans it's going to be very tough. Just like it was in 1994 when the World Cup was here, and that was also the same thing. The Europeans did struggle in that heat when it was like 110 degrees and the humidity and everything. Although they're playing in some indoor places, so which is should help. So anyway, that's been, I don't know if Ethan has anything that you want to share that's been going on in your life, or but maybe not. I don't know, but
No, I think you covered quite a bit. I think just something to touch on. I know we spoke earlier before this podcast getting on today, is just our mission and our own values and why we do what we do. Kind of, it aligns with the league. So I think focusing on the 98%, you couldn't have said it better. Because it does shape you beyond, I know you have your own experiences. We won't go in too much detail, but we all have our own experiences. And I think soccer, it's sports in general, is a way that, it shapes who people are. It shapes how you communicate to people, how you treat people, and even beyond the game, right? But I think that's why sports, soccer, whatever it is, um, whatever sport it may be, I think it's so important to have those values. And it's not only about winning. Yes, we're all humans. We all want to win. We're all very competitive, but there is more to it. Not everyone's going to be that 1%, or even that 0.5% playing in the 2026 World Cup or in the 2030 World Cup, right? So I think that's I'm super excited for this the friendly, right? We had two winners that we were able to give tickets through the organization that I know, Kai, you were working with. So that's super exciting that we have some of our membership being able to enjoy the match at firsthand. So yeah, no, super excited obviously for the 26-27 season. Can't say it enough. Team registration's open. And Kai and I, and we'll be available for any questions that you guys have to make sure that everything is smooth on the registration end.
Yep. No, that's good. I just think about something, because when you just said about how things shape you and everything, and segue into something else that we talked about earlier, because I think it actually is kind of cool, and that is what has been taken off in this country, I think, in a very positive way. The amateur game, okay, is actually something that, like for example, what we have dominantly here in the Tampa area is like UPSL, right? So, in we have, obviously I'm connected to a club, Pinellas County United, and we have a UPSL team that Ethan is also involved in helping running a little bit, the Pelicans. And I think that is actually something where I look back on, it's almost like what youth soccer was before this turned into an industry. Even though amateur adult soccer is also an industry, but it's also a lot of community, right? Because you have players that they're done playing, like they're out of college, they're working real jobs, but they're playing this game, right? Still, that they love, and they're able through the UPSL continue to play. My dog's going crazy. Sorry. You know, for the UPSL to they can play continuing to play and even being adults, right? And they have community, they have camaraderie, and again, it's part of the game continuing to grow in this country by leaps and bounds. And I mean, it's pretty cool. I just had to think about that when he talked about that. You know, how it shapes you in different ways, and well, it continues to shape you, right? You continue. I
Yeah.
love to see because I moved to this country. I moved to this country back in 1990, and that during that time, you know, soccer wasn't really a thing. I'm serious. Like it
Yeah.
was hard to find in 1990, and here we are in 2026, and it's really in the fabric of the country, right? Soccer
Yeah.
is a staple now, and if you looked at some news articles, soccer has even taken over baseball. It's the third most popular sport in this country,
I
and you
did see an
see,
article.
yeah, and so you see this all over America. You seeing this the amateur leagues exploding, and it's anyway. It's cool to see that you have the generation like Ethan, your generation, right? That continues to play, and
Yeah.
because they love it, and that's why it's there. It's community. It's like it's and for me, from the outside looking in, it is kind of pure, right? Yes, it's still an industry. It's also a business, but you're really not selling, college soccer or pro soccer anymore, right? It's just they're coming together and play, and the ultimate thing is some teams actually go and play in the US Open Cup, which is a big highlight, which was, our Pelicans team played in the US Open Cup qualifying round. It was a huge deal, and it was something that the whole club rallied around and showed up. We had like 500 people for games, right, when we did
Yeah,
these
we
these
did.
these events, and it's so cool to see that the game is growing in this really cool grassroots type of way. Anyway, so I went on this tangent about the UPSL, but I just kind of really feel that it's a really cool thing that's happening organically out there, and it reminds me of what soccer is supposed to be about, and kind of wish that the youth level could be about that as well again. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's
No,
but
I think it's I mean, I won't go through the entire, like, how it all came, but, we started as the Palm Harbor Pelicans, and this was when I was a college coach, but I had a bunch of buddies of mine, just because we love the game and we were older, we all have 9 to 5s, we're all working our jobs, whatever it might be. Some are building families, some are, it's just everyone has their own path, but one thing that connects us all is still playing the game. So, um, yeah, we started as the Palm Harbor Pelicans. I was sitting with some friends, and we all live in Palm Harbor, and that was the name that we agreed on. And we started in the Florida Suncoast Soccer League just because it was more accessible and affordable for like you said, it's still a business. You still have certain requirements to still participate in these leagues. So we started there, and we enjoyed every second of it. In regards to just being able to play with each other, right? Obviously, the facilities might not have been the greatest at the time and still aren't the greatest, right? But we were able to kick a ball and come together. We train once or twice a week, play the games on those Sundays, Saturdays, and then after our first year going into the UPSL, and obviously with the caliber of players we had the opportunity to play in the US Open Cup, losing against the team, FC America, that actually made it into the second round of the actual US Open Cup, and was able to play FC Naples, who's a professional team. So the standard of players that we had at the PCU Pelicans coming together, yeah, I think it is really pure. I think that's the whole basis of why we started, why we did what we did. Yes, we wanted to be competitive and win, but we just wanted to play one more time all together. Like, we all had great youth careers, and some guys went to go on win national championships at the NCAA D1 level. Some players went to go play in Spain, and we all came back. And it's just the game that continues to connect each other. But I think you're spot on. I've never even put that two and two together because I know obviously UPSL and different, have MPSL as well. You have all these leagues, and it's an industry, it's a business, but um, I guess maybe because I was leading the group administratively and coaching a bit before, taking other roles. Um, Looking from the outside in, I can see how it's pure, right? Because I didn't get a paycheck. I got a very, very tiny one. And I did it for the past I've done it for the past 2 years, because we simply love the game.
So,
So
I got into coaching at 18 and I didn't get paid for the longest time. I did because I love it. And it just kind of evolved into something, right? And I wonder sometimes how many people will still be involved if they didn't get paid. And that's just something that really, it's a deeper conversation for some other time, but
yeah.
that's something else. But yeah, that's another conversation altogether on that. But yes, UPSL for me is kind of looking at it, or the amateur game as a whole is very organic, and it's cool to see that how is it taking shape. So, well, we will now go into this big event that's around the corner about a week from now. I think everybody should know by now that it is the World Cup. The World Cup that's starting right here on June 11th. So pretty excited about that. I remember my first World Cup that I really, really barely remember is 1986, and it was Germany and Argentina in the finals. And the only reason, the one thing that stands out, I can only remember the final, and the only reason I remember the final is because my father back then still smoked a lot. And he was so nervous. And I remember him always going out and back and out and back. And he was like a nervous wreck in 1986. And Argentina won the World Cup that year and beat Germany in the final. But then, next year was Germany and Argentina again in the finals, and Germany won that one 1-0. And I remember watching that too. That was the first World Cup at 10 years old. I watched every game almost. So that was the night introduction. But anyway, and I watched every World Cup since, and here we are in 2026. So Ethan, what was your first time that you can remember watching a World Cup?
Where was I think maybe it was 2010. Maybe it was 2010, South Africa. Was that
South
right?
Africa.
I I remember Shakira's song, and which one was the World Cup with Brazil and Germany? I think it 7-1 it was.
Well, I was thinking you're going back to 2002, where Brazil beat Germany.
No, I was 1 year old.
I remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, but still, they lost that one 2-0. But 7-1 was 2014. Yeah.
2014. I remember 2010, but I don't remember like the specifics. I think how old was I? 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I was. I just remember Shakira's song. I do. I just remember that, and I think people still play it to this day. But that was probably the PR and marketing that they did was great, because 10 years later, 15 years later, I still remember it. So
that's awesome.
But I would say, I think the real was 2014. That's when everything started. Like, I was remembering watching the game, sitting in front of the TV screen night and day, and just consuming the games just that we love. And yeah.
The only thing, so I mean, it's I know we have an expanded format, and I don't think there's any group of death this time, and not that I can look at. I mean, I don't know, not like it used to be, a little bit bigger with the more teams. But anyway, we would like to also welcome Anthony, our producer, to this, because I'd like to add somebody else into this to have a little quick World Cup discussion, and kind of, I know Anthony also follows soccer and is excited about the World Cup. So I just wanted to get your take. What are you excited about? Is there any certain teams that you're looking forward to watching?
Man, all of it. Well, first off, thank you guys for letting me come and be a part. I love this podcast. I'm loving every topic. I take such an interest in this, and I really love what the United Soccer Association is doing in the world of soccer, or what the rest of the world calls football. So thank you guys for letting me be a part. Let me go back and answer the first question that you asked Ethan, and you had, had your glimpse of what was your first memory of the World Cup. And I remember, for me, I would take it back to 1994. With Brazil winning the World Cup and their chant, the away, Brazil. And I just remember as a kid, I'm like, what is this chant? It is incredible. And then, I lost track of soccer until 2006. And 2006 was where I really came back and fell in love with it, because I was surrounded by an international group. And I'm so excited about all things World Cup. And I'll tell people, as you're watching it this summer, you've got to let the emotions take over. It's okay. It's one season, it's one summer, it's one moment. I mean, get into it, watch it with friends, watch it at the local, a pub if you can, but really be surrounded by people you love and scream, go through all the emotions, have fun. It's a beautiful time of year, especially it comes once every 4 years. So I love it.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting, even though I still struggle with the expanded format because I'm a traditionalist, but and I like less teams, better quality matches, but I get it.
You don't like the starting of the 32, all 32 teams and countries. It's pretty. It's going to be wild. It's a lot of games.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of games, and I'm just looking at real quick. I mean, I obviously I'm biased. That's why I don't do great in any World Cup predictions, because I always root for Germany and the US as well, and so I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm still looking at it's going to be I just kind of for me, obviously, I think the top favorites obviously are your Spain, France, Argentina. I'm not. It's tough to do back to back. I mean, you can get to the final, but Messi's not getting any younger, right. But still, it's I mean, sleeper teams for me. The Netherlands the Dutch are always a wild card. I mean, they're not as dominant as they used to be in the past, but they're still there. I still have to get used to pronouncing the name of this country nowadays. It's Turkey, right? Is that
Yeah.
It used to just be Turkey, and now it's
That's
Turkey.
right.
I actually think that they have a really good team, and could do something there. Mexico is our rivals, right?
Yeah.
They're the Mexican rivals. I think that they're playing in their home country is obviously a big plus, for them. On the U.S. national team, I'm hoping, I'll be straight up, I'm not a big fan of Pochettino. Not a big fan at all. But that's who we got. And you just got to pull for the guys. It hasn't been the best of World Cups in the past for the U.S., right?
Right.
But I remember the 2002 World Cup was amazing. Actually, I have to go back again. 1990, the first World Cup that I watched was the first time the U.S. was in it in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the first time since 1950. And that was my introduction as a young kid to American soccer. And I remember being so intrigued by the U.S. national team as a 10-year-old kid in Germany, because I'm like, who are these guys? Right. And when you have this, it's still today. I actually still have this magazine, but this publication, it's called Kicker in Germany, that always releases this World Cup book, and it has all the teams in it and everything about it. And I remember looking at the U.S. national team, and it was all college players. Like I'm thinking to myself, I was 10 years old. I'm like, what is university? Like, who are these? Like, what? There was no Google back then, right? So I'm like, what does university mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, did they have a league? And then I remember watching them, and they actually did quite well. I think they only got beat really bad once. But and those guys, and the crazy thing is that during my career in soccer, I've been fortunate. I have met a lot of the 1990 World Cup players from the U.S. And for me,
That's
they're
awesome.
like, to me, they're really like, they're like trendsetters. Like if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are today, right?
Yeah.
Alexi Lalas, Tony Miola, all those guys. And so anyway, I really, those days, 1990, 94, oh my God, 94, the guys back then loved, Alexi Lalas, Marcelo Balboa. I mean, it was all the same guys from 1990 pretty much, right? And
Yeah.
they came so close to with the Brazil game. That was epic, right?
Yes.
Brazil, when he lost, it was unbelievable. In the Colombia game. Anyway, so then in 98, they didn't do so great. But in 2002, that was a great team. Since then, yeah, kind of struggled a little bit. But so I'm hoping this group maybe can do some great things and get this country really, really energized and engaged, right? So that's my hope.
Listen, I'm with you. One of the things, so I watched the Team USA friendly that just took place against was it Paraguay?
Senegal?
It was Senegal. Yeah, thank you.
Senegal. Yeah.
Paraguay is the first one we're going against, but in the World Cup, but against Senegal. One of the things I was so impressed with that I haven't seen before was the speed and the urgency from the beginning that this team played in. I thought that the defense towards the end of the match, they had their backs up against the ropes. Team USA did. They hung in there. It was a little nerve wracking, but I wonder how much going forward into this World Cup, that's going to be their sentiment of score early, score fast, be like on the urge of incredibly just powerful. I want to say with urgency. I don't want to say with violence, but with urgency. And I love the speed of which they moved. You haven't seen that speed from Team USA in a very long time. And so I love seeing that urgency, love seeing some of the places and pieces. And look, there's been a little bit of controversy, right, with certain players, being held out from being a part of the team.
But be in the squad.
I agree with you. But when I started watching and the speed of which they move versus that player, I thought, okay, it's a different format. The difference is for me, especially I'm a big Diego Luna fan. For me, Diego Luna has so much heart and so much spirit and really can rally a team. It's not just about for me, it's not just about getting the right players and building, what looks on paper to be the best team, but it's mixing that with the proper chemistry, with the proper heart that can really rally the troops. And I really felt like, especially during the CONCACAF, Diego Luna really did that. But beyond Team USA, which I'm very pumped about, I am excited to see Germany. Germany's definitely a top 10 team in my book, easily. I think the next one, and here's what's interesting, Argentina is bringing back 65% of the World Cup champion players. 65%. So they're bringing over the majority coming into this World Cup, which I think is interesting. Don't know how Portugal's going to play. I have high hopes for Spain. I'm interested because I haven't seen a lot from their chemistry, but I'm interested to see how they play because they have a lot of great superstars. And same thing with England. England has a lot of big superstars, but how's the chemistry going to work? What format are they going into? And for me, two factors that are really different coming into this World Cup as opposed to others. And maybe it was like this for the last World Cup, but the heat factor that you're seeing playing in Mexico, playing in Miami, in summertime, in June and July, the humidity level is going to be a factor for everybody and anybody, especially for the times of day they're playing. The second thing, and they showed it when Senegal was playing, and that was the turf. This is very different turf than what teams normally play. When you take the ball, when you juggle it, or when you throw it up in the air and drop it, it has very little to no bounce. And I've seen that now from multiple games in these friendlies, and it does have impact. Whereas the ball control and the way that players are used to, where you normally see the ball, if you throw it way above your head and it lands, it comes halfway up your body. Now it's barely getting up to their kneecaps. Like that changes the way that players are going to interact with the ball.
I think that's because they lay that grass over the turf, right? Is that what it's like?
Yeah.
They have turf, and they just lay the grass over. They did that 94 as well, and that does change the thing. But going to Argentina, you know, the kiss of death has always been bringing that World Cup winning squad back. Is always failed. Germany out before that, and France. I mean, it's been like, and I know that coaches, they're like, oh, okay, let's bring. It's almost like if you win the World Cup, you should overhaul the squad and go with younger guys. Go with guys that are hungry, that won it, because we've seen it in the past that a lot of times the World Cup champion comes back 4 years later and does terrible. Right. And maybe it's because the expectations or whatever it is. Right. And all that stuff. But and another, another team I'm just looking at that I forgot to mention, Colombia. Very good team. Very good team. I think Colombia could be could do some things. And then there's always Croatia. I'm just looking at some things. I mean, Croatia, I mean, some of these groups, I am, you know what? I hate to say it. I know that 3 out of the 4 teams all make it out. So it's like, it's a very good chance that you make the group stage, right? But if you look at, like the U.S., what does worry, Paraguay and Turkey are decent teams. They're not to be taken lightly, and I think I'm just looking at the things right now. I'm smiling because I think Brazil got lucky with their group, because I don't think Brazil is that good, or hasn't been good either for a while. It's kind of strange because they have a lot of talent, but they're in a group with Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Not to take any away from that group, Morocco can be good, obviously, right? They have shown they could be good, but I think, looking at it, obviously, it's very exciting. But yeah, I think Colombia can do great things, and so again, for me, I'm hoping Germany and the U.S. will go as far as they can, and then so we'll see. I mean, so Anthony, you know what? Ethan's been very, very quiet.
He's been quiet. I know. I was going to call on him, and I wasn't sure if I should.
Well, no. I just want to know, like, what are teams you're excited to see? You don't have to give predictions or anything like that.
This isn't.
I won't give
you excited to see.
Yeah, I'm still a soccer fan, obviously. With my current role, right? But I'm still excited to see some of these groups, how they pan out. I think it's super interesting. Obviously, you have a bigger format, right? So I think, honestly, like, this is just how I view it. I think with a bigger format, I think you might see some upsets. And the reason being is because I think the mental piece of, it's, we lost this game, but it's okay. First 3 go through. I do think that can play a piece as the tournament goes on, right? I think when there's more opportunity for mistakes, we could see some upsets, maybe, who knows? But I'm very curious to see how this pans out, and just excited. I don't want to say who I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, I'm just excited for the entire, tournament, just to be able to watch the game that we love every single day. Because sometimes we're waiting on Saturday and Sunday for the games to come, or a midweek match, and we're so excited. No, we get to see it every single day. So that piece of it, I'm excited to, just enjoy the game.
There are 2 players I'm looking forward to really watching, and the one is Leonard Carl from Germany, and Lamine Yamal, obviously, for Spain.
Yes.
That kid is unfreaking believable.
I know.
He consistently plays. Again, he's crazy. For me, I think he's going to be the next Messi. If he stays injury free and continues to keep a good head on his shoulders, I think he's got a unbelievable. I just want to see a bright future. The kid already has a great career. It could just get better. So that's kind of, just looking, I'm just super excited about for it to all get underway. So Anthony, who are your a pick to win it all, or you got?
Oh, it's funny because I do all the bracket stuff and I enjoy, playing with friends and doing the picks. It's tough to pick a favorite. I think I really think England has the potential to go really far. I think Argentina will go far, but I think that they could potentially be in an upset, potentially. Man, I don't know. At this, I feel like it's too early. I feel like I haven't seen enough yet. If you ask me again, probably in the next few weeks, I'll be after some friendlies and I get to watch some of the chemistry and what's happening, have a better feeling. But I don't know. For me, I would love to see Spain go all the way, but also in a sneak, would love for Team USA to pull the biggest upset in World Cup history. That would be incredible. I'd be through the roof on everything. I'd be
playing at home,
at the top of my lungs.
Home field advantage.
That's right.
That plays a huge part, right?
Hey, I'll lose my voice over that match. I'd go all the way.
Hey, I'm hoping I wouldn't complain. Even I'd be very happy semifinal. Again, I think the best, if they do well, it just helps the game in this country. I mean, it's grown already. Bounds, but it can help it again. So again, I'd still like to see Diego Luna. Keep saying that. I think the guy just brings so much grit. I was just heartbroken for the guy. Just because his story is amazing. He just represents a lot of things. I just like the guy. So anyway, but there's other players on the team. I think great.
Yeah.
The goalkeeping area is a little bit of a concern for me in the U.S. for the first time in a long time. That's been, to me since 1990, Tony Meola with Casey Keller, Brad Friedel, Tim Howard. I mean, such great goalkeepers. Not saying that the other guys aren't good. They're good, but not world class like the other guys were.
Agreed.
Agreed. So it's we shall see. And when we record the next episode, we'll actually be in group stage mode, so we can actually talk a little bit more.
There you go.
Have a little bit better. But again, one more time to everybody, don't forget to subscribe. Right, that's the ticket. We need to subscribe, like, share this stuff with everybody and their mother. Right, so get it out there.
Literally grab your mom's phone and we need you to
that's right.
like and subscribe.
That's right.
If you're a young person watching this, we need that. Comment on it, on social media, all the things. We want you to participate, and the more that you participate, then the better the show gets, and the greater the guests, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure, that's the plan. But we do have some upcoming guests as well, so that are exciting. That hope to announce very soon. Should be fun coming up. So, all right, guys. Well, everybody, enjoy the World Cup. Stay safe and healthy, and until next time. Right.